Hello and welcome to the Sally Tomato YouTube channel, where we teach tutorials to share knowledge and creativity. Today's tutorial is going to be a really fun, easy decor project featuring our Oceanside pattern. Bring memories of the summer coast into your holiday as a miniature tree skirt designed by Peg Baling. Cork and mesh fabrics are perfect for the look of shells and sand. I'll show you how to mark and cut the main and contrast fabrics, arrange the various pieces, add appliques, mesh, and then complete the tree skirt. I'll also include a tip on how you can create a table topper. Be sure to purchase the pattern before beginning your project. The pattern and supplies can be purchased from our website or request them at your local quilt shop. We encourage you to shop local whenever you can, but I'm sure you're ready to get started. Remember, you can always pause the video as we go along. That way we'll be sewing at your pace. All right, get your pattern, gather some fabrics, and let's get started at the work table. Before beginning, review the materials and supplies section on the back of the pattern. First, you'll need main fabric and contrast fabric to create the base, and then we'll be adding mesh as an overlay. And finally, you'll need some scrap pieces of cork fabric for appliques. I'm actually going to be using our pre-cut Oceanside applique pack. So they're beautifully laser cut and they look just perfect for this project. You can certainly download the Oceanside applique patterns from sallytomato.com to be cut by hand, or use the SVG files on a digital cutting machine. Let's begin by marking and cutting the main fabric. On the wrong side of the main fabric, that's your piece A, you're going to follow your pattern and measure across the top long edge beginning at the top left corner, and you'll mark your measurements with removable pen or a piece of chalk, and then also measure and mark, again following your pattern, along the bottom long edge of your main fabric piece A, and you'll begin measuring from the left corner again. You'll connect these marks going from the lower corner to the upper mark all along to create your triangles, and then you'll cut them out just like I've done here, following those marked lines. And you're going to repeat this same idea to mark and cut your contrast piece B, also for the base, but these will be different measurements, so follow your pattern, again beginning from the top left corner going along the top edge, and then measure and mark again beginning at the bottom left corner and marking along the long bottom edge of your contrast fabric piece B. Again, connect those marks. You'll cut out the triangles and we're ready to begin assembly. The first step is to place 4 of the main triangle A pieces right sides up with corners touching and the straight edges, the short straight edges, forming a square in the center. You're going to place the remaining 4 piece A triangles in the same configuration but at an angle, so you're forming a star shape. And be sure to secure the layers with basting tape or glue. Certainly use glue if you want this project to be a very low sew or no sew project. I'm going to be using basting tape, just little pieces at the corners. And then we're going to top stitch the layers together, just following the center opening with an 1/8 inch allowance, as you can see I've done here. Once the piece A triangles are top stitched, put that star segment aside, and then we're going to arrange the contrast triangles. Those will be the piece B triangles, again right side up with the corners touching and the straight edges forming an octagon. So you're going to use all 8 of the piece B triangles. I'm adding a bit of washi tape on each point of the star to temporarily hold it in place while I add the top layered star. I'll remove the tape before I do any top stitching. And then carefully place the main fabric A or A triangle star on top, again right sides up, over your contrast B star, the smaller triangles. Try to keep the points evenly spaced between each other, and then again hold these layers in place with basting tape or temporary or permanent glue, especially permanent glue if you're doing a low sew or no sew method. Next, copy or trace the Oceanside applique patterns and then use the patterns to cut out the shapes from your scraps of cork fabric. Of course, it's really easy to use the pre-cut Oceanside applique pack. So now with right sides up, arrange your desired appliques on your tree skirt, top stitch or use permanent craft glue to hold them in place. I'm going to use little dabs of hot glue just to kind of baste them in place, and then I'm going to go and do some top stitching, and that's going to hold all the layers, including the star points, together. And then we're ready to attach the mesh to the top. Place the mesh over the right side of your tree skirt, overlapping the two pieces just a little bit, about a ½ inch, and then add sewing clips at the skirt points. You're going to top stitch a ¼ inch from the skirt points. That's around all the points of your 16-point star. And then trim the mesh even with the edges of the tree skirt. Do try to position the mesh overlap at an inner corner. It can become part of the skirt opening in a later step. If you'd prefer to create a centerpiece or a table topper, after you have the mesh stitched on and trimmed along the outer edges, you can certainly add a piece of the remaining fabric from either your main fabric A triangles or your contrast fabric B triangles. There is enough of either that you should be able to fill in or cover from the underside that opening in the mesh in the center. You could either glue or top stitch your filler piece in place to convert the tree skirt to a table topper or centerpiece. So let's continue and complete the tree skirt. Using a removable pen or chalk, mark a line from the inner corner to the center along one overlap of the mesh. Then top stitch an 1/8 inch from both sides of that marked line, back stitching at the beginning and end, and then also top stitch around the inner circle or inner octagon of your tree skirt, holding it in place. Then you can cut the tree skirt open between the top stitching lines along your marked line, and then trim the mesh even with the center opening. Another added touch would be to add just a few more of your Oceanside appliques to the top of your tree skirt, adding extra depth and dimension to your finished piece. Thanks for watching and sewing with me today. I hope you enjoy your Oceanside tree skirt or table topper. I love Peg's design. It reminds me so much of my grandmother's coastal Florida home. Peg and all of us at Sally Tomato encourage you to share your photos using hashtag Sally Tomato and hashtag Oceanside Tree Skirt on social media. And visit our website for more mini patterns designed for all skill levels, and they're intended to be a quick sew project. Thank you, Peg, for such a festive pattern. And thank you for sewing with me today. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. That way you'll always know when we have a new video here. Until next time, have a great making day.